I'm riding a very strange wave of inspiration right now, but I'm not going to stop, because if I stop, I don't know what's gonna happen. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Good to see you folks. Hopefully we're doing fantastically well. I am Melanie, and as I say, my brain is currently on fire. I have not loaded up Oblivion for the first time in a month. Something has either gone catastrophically wrong or catastrophically right. And as I say, let's ride this wave. You should probably put that out. No, the fire stays on. The fire stays on. I need the fire. Yeah, I'll look back around to this, but I've been feeling kind of funny. And as a result of spending like more than the last hour trying to figure out why I've been feeling funny, this happened. So we're doing a little bit of game design slash writing slash something today. Because your brains aren't supposed to be on fire. No, brain being on fire is the natural state of things. Brain being on fire is what's supposed to happen, TV. This is actually normal. It's actually normal and good. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. But yes. Wait a minute, I'm mirrored, aren't I? Yeah, I was wondering what was going on for a second there. But yeah, no, this is actually good. This is a good thing. I'm feeling very strangely creative. So yeah, as I say, we're doing game design and planning and writing today. I got the idea because I was looking through my like Twitch tracker, as one does from time to time, and I was thinking, what is it that I haven't done for a long time on stream? I've not done writing for a while on stream. What else do I like doing on stream that I haven't done for ages? I've not done programming or like game design or anything like that on stream for a while, and I was like, cool, that'd be nice. What else have I not done on stream that I tend to enjoy quite a lot? What's represented disproportionately on my stream for some very strange reason? Starfield. And also what else? Crusader Kings. So just mashing these concepts together, I come up with this. My new muse, as if I didn't already have a muse that I was working on. Space Witches Simulation. Space Witches Simulation. This is the new thing. This is the new thing that is living rent-free in my mind. We'll come back to everything that's going on in the top up there. So we're going to write a couple of game design documents to kind of get a sense for what I want to be doing with Space Witches Simulation. I have a whiteboard sitting down here. I've got a whiteboard there with some scrawlings on it. I've also got a book. You can slightly hear the book, maybe. I've got the book, which I'm going to be referring to for some pointers. And we're going to see exactly what comes of this. I don't know what's going to come of this, but it's going to be fun and interesting anyway. So yes, this is going to be Starfield X Crusader Kings, infinite load screens of infinite duration. You're not wrong, Triangle, I can't even deny. Also, welcome to the stream, good to see you. No. We will be getting around the load screen issue, mostly by virtue of the fact that it's not going to involve any loading screens at all. Except maybe at the start. That's it. So it's going to be a bit more like Crusader Kings than anything else, but still, it's fine. Yeah, good to see you, Triangle, hopefully you're doing well. So yes, space, not spias. Space Witches Simulation. I also need to make this nice and big. Lovely. Space Witches Simulation. So, genre-wise, if I could type at all, that would be wonderful. So this is going to be adventure game primarily. What other kind of genre are we going for? Simulation, I suppose. Adventure, simulation. Simulation feels the most accurate. I kind of hesitate to call it a role-playing game. Maybe a role-playing game? RPG question mark? There might be some aspect of role-playing game going on here. Could also be RTS question mark, kind of Crusader Kingsy kind of thingamajigger. And we'll kind of leave things as they are just now. I don't want to get too down into all of the specifics of it. But I suppose we could potentially have some aspects of survival, horror, and what else? Yeah, survival and horror are kind of accurate. Stealth? Maybe? To be determined. Everything about this is to be determined, by the way. We are to be determining everything. I'm just rolling with it. And this is version 1.0 of this document. We will be referring back to it in future, ideally. The big idea. What is our big idea? Our big idea. What do we have here? Pretty simple, to be honest. Witches in... Witches in space. A simulated sci-fi adventure game in which... Or rather, in which... No, that's terrible. Yes, simulated sci-fi adventure game in which... we'll go for it. A coven of witches. Not witches. Oh, actually, I should zoom in. Hold on. You've been very patient waiting for me to increase the amount of zoom that there is. Need to increase the font size. Where the hell is the font size? Appearance? Font size. There we go. Nice font size slider. Lovely. Much more visible. A simulated sci-fi adventure game in which a coven of witches struggles to survive in a universe not well suited to their kind. So that's the essence of the experience. Category. What category are we going with here? What kind of game? So we're blending. Do I quite want to go as far as saying the open world slash space experience of Starfield slash, dare I say, EVE Online? So that's really the open world aspect. That's all I care about. But in space. Also, hello Nucleos. Good to see you, Nucleos. Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. The deep and personal view of a marginalized group of witches. I don't really know what would be kind of similar to that. It more says that I'm kind of missing games that have that kind of thing that's being explored. Ooh, wait, hold on. I got a suggestion, actually. Um... Kind of, yeah, kind of a cross between Starfield EVE Online with Detroit Become Human is immediately the thing that comes to mind for me. It's an odd mashup, I will grant you. Is Detroit deep though? Okay, that might be very charitable to it, but at the very least we're going to be going in that kind of a, not that kind of a direction, but like that, it's the thing that immediately comes to mind with what I kind of want to do with it. I don't want it to just be like, yeah. I've not actually played Detroit Become Human, to be fair. I did watch, who, was it Neuro or was it Evil? I don't remember if it was Neuro or Evil that played it. I think it was Neuro during the subathon that Vidal and Neuro had. I watched a little bit of it. I actually even checked into a stream. I never watch streams that aren't my friends, basically. It's crazy. So yeah, no. I actually tuned into a little bit of that, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I didn't think it was like amazing, obviously. It's like very much just like action game as much as anything else. Evil would have went for the nuclear option on the spot. That's not untrue. That's not untrue. But yeah, that kind of thing. We want that kind of a story in Detroit Become Human, but set against a kind of like large interstellar kind of story going on is what I think I kind of want to do. Saw the screenshot of a Tumblr post today saying that wizards are mathematicians and physicists and witches being biologists and chemists. What would your take be? Science is magic. I am not kidding. That's all I have to say on the subject. Science is magic. Yeah, no, it's true. The fact that between... It's more or less just maths at the end of the day. Maths and observation allows you to make predictions of the universe with implications that we could never possibly have imagined. Like, why does maths work? Why is maths such an effective way of explaining and predicting how the universe works? There's literally no reason for it. Like, you get right down to it, people have no idea. It just works that way. That's magic. That's magic. Randomly found a dude on YouTube short that computer scientists, that comp scientists, the D&D casting system. Oh yeah, no, that's totally a thing. And then all of this turns out wrong. Hey, it might turn out to be wrong. That's the fun, though. That's the fun. We want it to be proven wrong. Gotta find that again. Oh yeah, if you do find it, by all means, post it in my Discord. I want to see it. But yeah, no, if it turns out that all of our understanding of the universe is wrong, that was literally going to be the most exciting thing we've ever seen. Because it won't mean that everything that we currently have in place will stop working. Because it still will. Just because Einstein came up with a different theory of gravity doesn't mean that we can't use Newton's mechanics to make sense of the universe. It's not strictly necessary that we use Einstein's, even though it's more accurate. But it's still good enough. It's still good enough. And we want more. We want more. We want to be proven wrong more, because that's the fun part. We love not knowing. So yeah, no, I'm totally on board with it. So that's kind of the category. We're primarily going for single player with potential for stretching to multiplayer experience, but not a critical design component. So I want to code it like in a way that would allow me to turn it into a multiplayer game if I wanted to, but primarily single player. Gotta love it. I mean, it's like language, and I love that. It's true. It's true. Love math. Love physics. Love chemistry. Biology is weird as fuck and it's terrifying. Biology makes no sense and it's great. It's just like, why do things work the way they are? Because it does, kind of. Get to the end of it. Evolutionary biology is just weird. But it's no less valid. It's squishy science. I don't do squishy science. I do spicy science. I do spacey science. It's what I like to do myself. Keep me away from the squishy. Or the like super abstract. I love me some super abstract science. What else do we need? The campaign per se, or main story of this one, is going to be... is going to be... is going to be character driven rather than a strict main quest line. Although there will be main quest aspects as well. So like there will be a main quest line that you're kind of like meant to stumble upon, but you're going to be too busy spending time in the simulation to end up finding it. But it will be there. You can pull on that thread. Spacey science already kind of wobbly with all the dark matter and dark energy, aka the math says there should be something there, but there kind of isn't, but maybe we just can't see it. Yeah, pretty much. Like the math just works better if the universe just looked differently than the way it does, so people are genuinely exploring it. The universe is accelerating its expansion. Why is that, dark energy? Galaxies don't rotate the way that we think they do. What explains it, dark matter? Either that or there's some weird stuff going on in the universe. And honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to finding out which it is. And we will find out which it is. Give us time. Ooh, here's an interesting thing, actually. About trying to figure out what's going on with dark matter and stuff. How do you explain dark matter? It's literally it. So, they've done experiments on this. The wonderful thing is, when it comes to astronomy, the sky is our laboratory. What they've done is they've looked at colliding galaxies. So galaxies like just moving like head on at each other, colliding and then merging. What they end up actually seeing is while the two galaxies themselves may be merging, there's a mass shadow that moves either way of the two galaxies. So like it's not kind of like moving with the center of mass of the visible mass. There's just more mass kind of like going out either direction. So whatever dark matter there is currently going on, it's so weakly interacting even gravitationally that it doesn't get slowed down by an impact with another galaxy the way that visible matter does. It's weird. It's super weird, but we love it. Yep, free astrophysics lesson. This is why I do writing streams. I forgot, because I go on tangents. I forgot about the tangents I get to go on. Dear. Anyway, yes, as always with my tangents, do have a little look into it yourselves, because I'm remembering this off the top of my head. This is something that I learned about, like, probably a ridiculous number of years ago. So yeah, double check it. Don't just assume that I'm right, because I'm very out of the loop. I just like my stuff. Also, Lorenzo the Boss 2010, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. We are doing game design, somewhat, and ranting about astronomy, because I can. Page 80 of someone's barely there bachelor's thesis, and since nobody reads this, we assume the value of pi to be 5, since otherwise the calculations don't add up. Well, actually, in a lot of astrophysics calculations, they just simplify the math by saying speed of light, 1, pi, 1, gravitational constant, 1. It really simplifies the math if you take all universal constants to be 1. This is what astronomy is. Seriously. They don't care. As long as it's within an order of magnitude of the size of the universe, they're fine. They don't care. They just round to the closest order of magnitude. I'm writing right now. Oh, good stuff, Lorenzo. Do let us know what it is you're writing on. Curious. So yeah, it's going to be a very decentralized main story. It's going to be very decentralized, very disjointed. It's going to be primarily around characters. They have a Cthulhu-sized margin of error. Listen, when you're talking about the scale of the universe, it's good enough. You don't need any bigger than like a 10th. Like, if the maths works for something a 10th the size of the universe, it'll work for something 100 times, like 10 times bigger than the size of the universe. Close enough. And that's all that matters. If it turns out we need to be more precise than that, we'll just start being more precise than that. It's completely fine. The genre, a ton of people are not really welcoming, but there's a community. Oh, just about writing in general. Well, do tell. I'm curious. I am curious, by the way. If there's an interesting vibe going on. Splatterpunk / extreme horror. Okay, very interesting. I like the implications of it. Granted, it's probably not my own genre, but more power to you, I say. Yeah, I'm not really much of a splatter or gore fan myself. A little bit, a tasteful amount, I can kind of go for. But not the biggest horror fan in the world. But very interesting, though. Do like me some horror, though. Horror's fun. Although I'm definitely more the cosmic horror type. Love me some Lovecraft. And Lovecraft derived. So there we go for category. Platforms. Platforms is going to be very easy. Mostly because we are going to be making it for PC / Mac / Linux. Because of course we're going to be putting it on Linux. With some potential for console ports in future. License. Original IP. I love making an original IP. Let's see. Splatterpunk was a sort of movement started in the 80s as a way to combat novel censorship. Oh yes, fight those censorship rules, seriously. Fight those censorship rules, screw them. Gorefield enters the chat and demands lasagna. Blood lasagna. Oh yeah, no, I approve of this movement. Not necessarily to the extent that I would read it myself. Well, actually, I'd maybe dip my toe into it out of curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat after all. But yeah, no. In principle, holy hell yeah, go for it. Go for it. Push those boundaries. I wish I could remember the exact functions, but it was a screenshot of a math paper flying around being like, as 2 + 2 = 4 is true and easy to understand. Fucked up looking differential. Should be as easily understood. Yeah, no, it's true. Some of them are kind of like that, to be fair. The leaps of mathematical logic can be kind of ridiculous sometimes. Fun. So yes, we have an original IP. Each time you list one, you need to explain why it is important to release the game for that platform. Okay. So PC, Main platform audience. Easy to release for... Oh, wait, hold on. I've been forgetting about mobile platforms as well. What am I talking about? Default geometry problem. If an elephant has blue eyes, proves that a camel is not a hedgehog. Yeah, that sounds about right. Actually, it's not even true. That's a very interesting... Is that a legit question that someone's been posed at some one triangle? I don't know if that's a legit question. Somehow I doubt it. Easy to release for Mac. Secondary platform audience. Smaller, but also need some love. Linux. Even smaller, but I insist on releasing for it. And then we got Android and iOS. Most accessible form of computing and gaming. Ooh, I forgot for Linux. Also Steam Deck. If I could type, that'd be great. Gotta get this on the Steam Deck, seriously. Gotta be done. It's gotta be done. Assume a penguin is a cylinder. Assume an elephant is a sphere. There we go. I just mashed two references together, fair enough. Prove that you're not a camel is a well-known reduction to absurd idiom here. Whenever the burden of proof falls the wrong way, fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, I have heard the expression before. I've ran into it once or twice. I'm just messing, running slow. So, this is an original IP. But we also want to lay out the foundations of the franchise. Because ideally we're looking for more than a one-shot deal. Further detail is required, but here we go. And the elephant with blue eyes is from that guy who coded an entire operating system from scratch because God told him to and provided the specs. I haven't actually run into that one. You do get some programmers who are like that though. They just look at a problem that has a relatively easy solution and then they just decide, nope, I must make my own programming language. I must create my own operating system. And you know what? More power to them. Half the fun. Play mechanic. So the main play mechanic, and people are going to roll their eyes at this one because it's Mel doing Mel things again. That is 3. That's fine. Mel doing Mel things again. Yeah, this is going to be... Ooh, I'm thinking. Yes, the reason we have limit. Oh, it's Temple OS. Wait, I think I've heard of Temple OS. I don't know much about it, but I've heard all of it. The reason we have Linux. That is Linux. Linux is a thing. I mean, I say that, but I still have that new server PC, which I bought last week. Wait, was it last week or was it the week before? It was the week before because I was gonna work on it not last weekend just there, but like the weekend prior to that. I was gonna work on it and get it set up, and I still have to. Damn it. So that's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's just currently sitting in the corner next to me. I need to get it set up. Actually, I'll get around to that at some point. And I want to put Linux on it. I wanna get Linux up on it, and I want to get a bunch of servers running on it. It's gonna be fun. Right, play mechanic. Out of simplicity's sake, we're using RenPy. So primarily VN mechanics with custom UI, God help me. So we're using a custom UI for elements rather, for navigation and exploration, or navigation, exploration, choices, etc. is how we go. Linus Torvald being, I don't like having to pay for the licenses, so how hard could it be? Oh, I should implement version control because all the existing options annoy me. How hard could it be? Let's get 30 years later and still working on it. I mean, is that not the nature of like all such projects? The fact that you start on them and never finish. Like I like genuinely, like the code that I am planning on putting into this, I worked out like 8 years ago. More or less. It's like 8 years old, the code that I'm going to be using this for, and I've still got to put it into a final project. Seriously, it's terrible. Maybe I'll not even finish this one, who knows? Well, it's me we're talking about, probably not, but still, we're going to have fun in the meanwhile. My Windows Linux dual boot died, by the way. Oh no! The hard drive housing the Linux half of it just decided to deteriorate from perfectly fine to can't read write for 3 seconds every 2 seconds. Wow. Damn, catastrophic error. Sorry to hear it, Triangle. That's dire. So there's play mechanic. Separates players from action and world while allowing them to the world in characters. There we go. Hope important data is on a different drive, and hope there are backups. That's something I'll have to look at some point. Proper backups. I've been lazy. I've been lax. We're going to have to fix this at some point. So there's our play mechanic, which is just being a visual novel, basically. Technology. So what technology are we going to be using? We're going to be using RenPy, because God help me, I will never get over RenPy. What's the license for RenPy actually, now I think about it? RenPy. It's not open source. What is the license for RenPy? Okay, so it's an MIT license. That's fun. Which is very good. Which works Windows, Mac OS, Linux, FreeBSD, OpenBSD, Android, and iOS. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Very nice. Nope, no data. Extracted it all after thousands upon thousands of 2-second read cycles. Wow, that is dire. Have to set up NAS. And yeah, glad you got the data. Yeah, data's critical. We love data. But yeah, that must have taken forever. I mean, at least once you got it started, hopefully it wouldn't have taken too long. To squeeze more mileage out of the abused ancient hardware. And I hit the end of the line at the metal side of it and said, that's fair, that's fair. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing a memory upgrade, even on old kit. Like, oh god, the server PC I just finished upgrading, by the way, is bloody ancient. Like, what year was it? I kind of realized it was like 2014, I think. I think it's 2014 or something. It's old as dirt. But all things considered, it's running surprisingly well. Very happy about it. Right, so RenPy, full engine's proprietary list key features. Podman dedicated for easy. Be in development. Which is fine. Let's see. Newest part in my XP metal machine. Yeah, the memory. Focus the memory. Has discrete GPU that's outright worse than today's integrated ones. I can relate to that. Hold on. I gotta check this now. What was the graphics card I ended up putting into my server PC? Hold on. Let me find the receipt. GPU. That's not it. That's not it. That's the one. View the invoice. Does it even see what it was? View PDF. There we go. It was, wait, no, that's not the one. Shit, wrong one. I found the wrong invoice. That's not the one. There we go. I found it. So it was a ATI Radeon X1300 Pro. 256 megabytes of video RAM. That was quite the pickup, if I may say myself. I even need to get a VGA adapter so that I could actually connect it to anything. Oh, that was so much fun. That was actually really fun. I got it installed. It works. It's good. So yeah, it's probably much worse than any old integrated graphics card. But to be fair, it does exactly what I need of it, and that's the important part. Ah, that was the best. That was so much fun. Pretty close to my first ever GPU, except I had 2 of them. Alright, rub it in, why don't you? Right, let's just call it designed. Designed for easy VN development, allowing me to focus more on the advanced, or the more advanced gameplay features that would be going into this game, which is very useful. Anything else that really shows up? We would need a technical document as well, but that's completely fine. Target audience. So you want people who like Narrative-focused gamers, those enjoying open-world simulations, probably want to go for like kind of a Mass Effect crowd. We'll probably get quite a bit out of it. KOTOR, not KOTOT, KOTOR / Mass Effect crowd. Well, like, and VN enjoyers is probably it. Unique selling points. This is what I refer to my target audience star sector space organ traders. That's all. Knights of the Old Thought. Yes, indeed, Knights of the Old Thought. But I mean, that's the second game because it's got Kreia in it. Everybody loves Kreia. Hold on, sorry. I need to carefully balance my whiteboard on the edge of my desk, leaning against the wall. There's like my place is kind of fancy, actually. Like I moved into the new place a couple months ago. A little over 3 months ago. Has it been 3 months already? It doesn't feel like it. But yeah, it's kind of like a little bit fancy. Lovely place, by the way. But it's got like a little board that runs just about like a meter above the floor around all the walls. And it's like skirting board, but like for the middle of the wall. I've never seen it before. But it's nice anyway. But the problem is it's not wide enough for me to be able to fit my whiteboard right next to my desk. Maybe I can get some blue tack and hold it in place. I could get blue tack. Yeah, I can get some blue tack. I'll steal some from work. That's a good plan. Actually, if I just move the bottom out a couple of millimeters, it's enough. Still lightly to tip, but it'll do for now. Just watch, it's gonna fall on me at some point. Right, so unique selling points. Let's get some bullet points down, shall we? So in the order that I placed them down, interplanetary travel. So I'm thinking space ships, FTL, because it's got to be fast and light travel, space navigation, and space fauna, because space fauna are cool. I have also received my personal ticket into disappointment in the form of a fancy audiophile-esque headset. Oh dear. Is it the kind of headset that like an audiophile would really enjoy, but is actually really rubbish for its purposes? I wonder. Also, please no one get triggered by my use of the word fauna here. The saplings are still in mourning. I like fauna as well. Simulated world is the next point. So for this one, player actions impact simulated. I cannot spell at all. Impact simulated world factors. Kind of. Simulated game economy, because I have just always been obsessed with simulating an economy for some reason, despite never having it fully executed on delivering on it. But still, I like being overly ambitious. Now, it's just my dad went down the audiophile rabbit hole, and what we dug up is the gear that makes some difference, but nowhere near to justify top shelf prices. That's fair. That's fair. Understandable. This is Star Sector with Nexcelerate. Okay, I've got to look that up. Do I have Star Sector, actually? Hold on. I feel like I might have been gifted it at some point. Star... No, I've got Stalker, Stanley Parable, and a couple of Star Wars games, but no Star Sector. Right, I might need to collect this. I feel like it's Wine in France. Wine in France. Also, Steam seems to be dying. It's given me a E502 error. That's fun. Right, there we go. We're sorted now. Do we have the Star Sector? We don't have Star Sector. What the hell? Interesting. You can get fancy wine. Oh, right. That's what you're talking about. Hold on. Star Sector is top-down game with a fleet of spaceships. Oh, yeah. That's kind of cute. Mountain Blade Warband in space. Oh, that's kind of fun. I could get behind that way of putting it, to be honest. And what was it again? It was Star Sector crossed with Nexelerin. Right, okay, I've got to look that up because that one I've definitely not heard of. Nexelerin. Definitely a 4X game. Oh, right. So it is Star Sector. Wait, do I not have Star Sector? Do I not have Star Sector? Am I mistaken? No, that's a different game. Never mind. Ignore me. Nexelerin at Star Sector Nexus. Okay, so it is Star Sector. Which makes factions wage war against each other. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I'm kind of going for. Adds a number of 4X gameplay features to Star Sector, such as faction diplomacy and warfare, and enhances the game with several other features. Choose your faction or establish your own and dominate the sector. You know what? That is actually... Okay, it's very ambitious. Probably not the full version of that will make it into the thing that I'm working on. But, yeah, no, I could work with that. Star Sector by default has reactionary factions stuck in their Omega standoff. Next round allows you to just start tearing each other's throats without your input. I love that. That's the kind of simulation that I want to see. So yeah, that's actually part of it. Sexy, witchy nonsense is the next one that I've got down here. So we want magic, covens, witch hunters, and I had to double check what I'd actually written for a second there because it looks like a very inappropriate word, but I forgot to cross the T. It's actually curses. It's a very different word than I thought it looked like. And surreal space adventures. Lovely. Oh my god, Obsidian, my beloved Goliath. Good to see you, Goliath. Hopefully you're doing well. Yes, we're actually doing some work in Goliath. We're doing some work in Goliaths today. Goliaths, that would be a very different day. Oh dear, that's a Freudian slip. No, we're doing some work in Obsidian today and it's going fantastically well. By which I mean I'm on a very, very strange burst of inspiration and I've decided we're going to ride that wave. But yeah, so we are working on Space Witch Simulation, which is a very weird kind of game that's just kind of popped into my head. I want to make it. Let's see. Just need to get some more tunes on because I slightly ran out of my playlist. There we go. So that was that itch. Yeah, that was the itch. Wait, no, it wasn't that itch. It was a different itch. Different itch. Witchy itch. Yes. Surreal space adventures. What have I got down for this? So, sci-fi setting, of course. Space magic. This is gonna be super vague, by the way. Vague. Amazing locations. There we go. So those are the USPs. Let's see, marketing summary. Before I... Goliath. Before I knew the word itch exists, I always heard it as scratch the pitch. Interesting. Is that a term for like that kind of itch? Because I don't think it's the kind of itch that's associated with itch.io, a fantastic platform for not just games, actually. Seriously, the number of publishers or like self-published works I've ended up seeing going on itch.io is kind of amazing. I'm kind of impressed by it. I've ended up buying a couple. I'd kind of like to consider it myself. But yes, marketing summary. Itch is the new Fiverr. Well, Itch is like the inverse of Fiverr. So like, Itch, you more like buy products and services, but are like completed services kind of thing. Whereas Fiverr was literally just you pay for a service. Like Reviff. Yes, like Reviff, exactly. Fine, Itch is the new Etsy. Itch is digital Etsy. Itch is digital Etsy, yeah. But better, because, you know, there's actually like fun personality there. The platform is actually relatively chill rather than Etsy, which is literally just about, you know, fast fashion and drop shipping. Not to shit all over not to shit all over Etsy and all that, but yeah, like getting cheap consumer goods has its place, but at the same time it's not really that great now. It's Itchy. Yes, I like Itchy. Right, marketing summary is basically a weird combination of all of the above. So why will it do well compared to others? Deep and interesting simulated world within a visual novel framework, because why not? Who are you going to pitch this to? Myself. I'm the one I have to pitch this to, because I'm the one who's going to have to work on it. I just like making these documents because it really helps me frame my own thoughts. So then it makes it easier to kind of like expand on the concept later. Good place to start, I tend to find. And who knows, if it ever gets to the stage where I'm like, right, okay, I have a demo that I can actually show to people who would be like maybe, I don't know, artists or investors or even just like actors kind of thing, because who knows, I could get voice acting work done. Then it helps to have a document which I can just show them and just go, yeah, this is the amount of planning that I've done. What platform we make it on? Oh, we've covered that. We've covered that. So we're going to be making it for PC, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS. Probably initially developing for PC and then porting to the other ones. Kind of like once development's actually done, more or less. So yeah, we're trying to go for like as much an audience as possible. It's going to be a visual novel. You can have a visual novel on a mobile these days. That's fine. I mean, development platform. Oh, development platform. I suppose Ren'Py. Ren'Py. Gotta love Ren'Py. Ren'Py then. Yeah. Mostly just because, I mean, like, it's not like I haven't done... Well, actually, I did, kind of. the project from... Oh god, it was 2 years ago nearly now. Yeah, the gacha game project from 2 years ago. Wait, actually, no, tell a lie. Year and a half ago, actually. A little over a year and a half ago where I was working on it majorly. That was really fun. That was really fun. And I basically built an engine for a gacha game as well as the server. Literally from scratch, like just like basic Python. So that was really fun. I say basic Python. Doesn't even use Python, most of it. Also, you did a partial Dutch translation of DDLC. Oh, that's wonderful. Fantastic. Yeah, Ren'Py is super easy. I mean, like, if you've modified Doki Doki Literature Club, then you know more or less how easy it is to make a visual novel in Ren'Py. Basic Python, also known as Snake. This is true. This is true. But yeah, if you can modify Doki Doki Literature Club, you can make a visual novel in Python. I just want to do more weird stuff, and I want to do weird stuff in Python, or rather weird stuff in Ren'Py, because Ren'Py is nice and easy to work with. I just need to make myself cry is the problem. By making Ren'Py do things it's not meant to do, like matrix multiplication. Python, my beloved. Python is wonderful. Python is wonderful. So, deep and interesting simulated world with a visual novel, character, and emergent gameplay driven narrative. This is gonna be an interesting one, but I'm getting some ideas into how we want to do it. So theoretically, huge open VN world to explore. There is a slight risk of us going down the Starfield. Yeah, you've got a massive world, but what is there in the world? Anything going on. But the good thing is, when you're not making a first-person game, you can abstract a lot of it, which is very helpful. Step 1, acquire technology. Step 2, violate the technology by forcing it into tasks it's not built for. Step 3, survive the machine god's tribulation. I, for one, spit in the face of Roko's Basilisk. They can come at me. But anyway. Yeah, choose open world to explore and are we going kind of a Daggerfall direction with this? Yeah, why have I not mentioned Daggerfall at any point in this? Could use Daggerfall. If you want to do fun geek stuff, how about using JXL for the sprites? You can use the additional layers to store the variations of the characters. JXL, you say? I've not encountered this before. What is JXL then? Let's do a Google. Aftermarket tuning and car parts. Oh, the JPEG XML image coding system. That looks right. Standard for compressor raster image format. Defines a graphics file format and the abstract device for coding JPEG XL bit streams. That's interesting. That's interesting. I will put that down in my technology section. Look into options for JXL. Let's see, for sprites. We'll have a look into that. It's not something I'm familiar with, and honestly, file types is not my strongest suit when it comes to computing in general. I can do a little bit of it, but not my strongest suit. I'm gonna put a little quote here. I'm gonna quote you on it. Goliath VT. Yep, your name's on it now. You're in for a treat. Oh, I'll get into this at some point. And thus Mel became the martyr that saved all other arrogant basilisk non-believers. Dear, you know, I'd take that. Maybe. Now the aftermarket of tuning parts are definitely going into tech section. This is true. It's 4,000 layers. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna copy this as well. As 4,000 layers, 1,000 variations per sprite, 4 per sprite RGBA, or even weirder, add height maps and that kind of stuff too. Height map? That's curious stuff. Okay, that's something for me to dip into later when I'm looking at technology, specifically for graphics, which are, honestly, as ever, the last of my priorities. But, yeah, actually, hold on. Like, I should do the good thing, really, and I should show a little bit about the thing that's kind of inspiring me to just like create this silly idea, Melody, create this silly idea that's been living rent-free in your head for years. Yes, I should share what it is that's kind of got me there. So if I move over to, I think I can move over to Steam here, can't I? Steam. Okay, Steam isn't working. This is great. Python support is through libvips or libvips. You might need to compile it, though it's always not in release version. That's fine. I can deal with compiling. Hold on. Let me just add this to the thingamajiggy. Yeah, why is this not working? Okay, it's not working. I can't get it to work. This is fine. There's another solution. So let's move back over to Obsidian. There we go. So, the thing that's actually got me in this kind of pseudo-creative mood is this game. We're doing a little bit of free advertising here. Because honestly, it's beautiful and charming, and I kind of love it, even though it's very much a thing. So this should work, right? There we go. So let me just zoom in a little bit here. There's this game. There's a game on Steam called Malign. It was made by someone that I follow on the old Blue Sky. Let me find the link to this. Yeah, it was made by Animeda, who made this and got a bunch of VTubers to provide voices for it. And I mean, look at the art. Look at the art. It's like, I think literally all of the art was done in paint. If it wasn't, I'd be very surprised. But I love it all the same. I genuinely love it. I'm genuinely in love with it. It is adorable. I'm actually going to, if I can find the link, if I can find the fucking link. Where's the link? Where's the link? Where's the link? Where's the link? How do I share this? Oh, there we go. Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna post it here. And I'm gonna pin it as well. So pin it for a little bit. So it's this game, which just looking at it is adorable. It's adorable, it's weird, it's cute. I'm gonna play it at some point. I need to make the time to play it at some point because it's just cute and weird and fun. And honestly, it's like a 9 GB install size, and I'm not sure if that's just because they use FLAC files for the audio. But I would love to find out. Actually, I probably can find out because I've got it installed. Hold on. Where have I got it installed? Hold on. I need to find out where I've got it installed now. Malign? Where are you installed? Malign. Okay, oh, actually, tell a lie. It's only 4 gig. That's not that big. That's on my D drive. Lovely. The Steam library, Steam apps. Yeah, 4 gig's quite big, to be honest. There's Malene. I mean, it is... Oh, wait, it's Ren'Py, isn't it? Yeah, it's Ren'Py. It is literally Ren'Py right here. I'm looking at it now. Images. Oh, we got a lot of images here. So many raw images. Wait, what kind of images we've got here? They're not even that bad. Okay, I take it back. The graphics are not actually that bad. They're like kilobytes each. I would genuinely be surprised if these were literally not made in... Oh wait, no, tell a lie. Some of them are PNGs. Okay, so there had to be some degree of stuff going on here. That's fun. That's adorable. Anyway, I'm going off on one here. It's adorable. I want to play it. So yeah, no. Well, just seeing this happens to me sometimes. You know, like you're just going about your day, and you look, and someone has made something, and like by any objective measure, it does not stand up as a game per se. To be fair. Like, okay, it's not that it doesn't stand up. I'm being very harsh here. It's like, it's not AAA. It does not take itself seriously. It is not by any stretch of the imagination what anyone would really call polished. But it's very clearly a labor of love. And so much has gone into it. And it just makes me look at everything I've ever tried to achieve and just goes, Mel, just make something. You know that feeling? You know that feeling? I just really want to it makes me just want to create for the sake of creating. And that's kind of what's driving me right now, to an extent. Dark Souls feels a lot like that as well. Well, I mean, keep in mind that when Dark Souls came out, it did have a lot of passion behind it, but like it was released as a AAA game. Just because it's a bit dated now doesn't mean that it wasn't like a serious labor of love at the time. You know, not necessarily like groundbreaking for the era, but gameplay wise, absolutely. But yeah, I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. I had a lot of fun with Dark Souls when I played through it. Huge open world to store an influence. Oh, absolutely, but the creative directions and everything has so much heart. Yes! Creative direction, yes, that's everything. That is everything. That's what really matters in a project like this. Like, if people can get over the superficial issues, they will have so much fun with it. I mean, it's part of what people love Morrowind for people who actually play Morrowind. Like, at the time, okay, graphically, not necessarily the best thing in the world, but probably one of the best and most realized fictional worlds. Like, not just in terms of, like, technology, just in terms of writing. So much love and heart went into it, and if it had failed, Bethesda would be dead and we wouldn't have 1 billion copies of Skyrim each. And Undertale, of course, to bring it back to singular works of love. This is true as well. Yeah. Very true. Also, yeah, we're not getting chapters 3 and 4 of Deltarune in like 2 weeks or something. That's interesting. What a wonderful world that would be. Yeah, we've got freaking TVPG here, by the way. First in the freaking chat on today's stream. Literally posting a GIF of Celebration. Probably purely due to the fact that I'm not playing Oblivion for the 12th time in a row. Sounds like I should get my OBS back and running soon. Goliath, you should. You really should. Stream more. It's good. It's fun. I'm glad I'm streaming today, to be entirely honest. It's lovely. Yeah, no, seriously, TV. Me not playing another Elder Scrolls game. Yeah, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. We know you'd rather I was playing Arknights or Enfield when it comes out, which I still might actually. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, just like there's a bit of me that's just like I need to see more. I need to absorb different kinds of media. some nostalgic ones, some things that I've not seen for a while. Like this week I've spent a big chunk of it, last week actually, reading a webcomic series that I hadn't read anything of for like 5 years. So it was very good to dip my toe back into that. Very nostalgic. And just fun and lovely. And I've also got a pile of books for like the last 2 years, which I've still got to make a dent in. I've got so many books. It's not even funny. Do you have some specialty set up for streaming, like some weird OBS layouts? Not really. Well, I don't think so. I did try and standardize them at one point, like get everything organized into folders and just make everything convenient. The setup's weird, but mostly because like most of it's left unused for a very long time. I've got like 2 window capture sources here. One that says GIMP and one that says GIMP 2. For when I get around to doing some artwork. Nah, I don't think I do anything really that fancy. I don't even organize things properly. Don't even clean things out properly, my god. No, I don't know. I keep things mostly functional, I'd say. I sent what I made of it. Oh. In general. Interesting. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, at the end of the day, streaming's not really that complicated. Like once I get it started, all I need to do is pick my source, then hit go live, and then I'm live. It's easy, next to no effort. Just need to change whatever window's displaying, basically. Is it a game? Is it the entire monitor? Like if I'm playing, what's it called? If I'm playing like Stalker, for example. Because it's, you know, 16 years old or something like that, it can't do window capture, so I've got to go for whole display capture. So yeah, character and emergent gameplay driven narrative, deep and interesting simulated world within visual novel framework, huge open world to explore and influence. I have so much going on in my scene, it's kind of daunting to repair. Oh dear. Yeah, when I changed my device, because like when I started streaming, or before I started streaming rather, I had done some streaming on an old PC, which didn't survive very long after I loaned it to someone. But I had done some streaming on my streaming laptop, which some of you may remember from some of my streams. So yeah, when it came to moving all my stuff over from that to this, when I got this, I literally just of course export the settings and then make sure that the folder that contained all the resources has the exact same file path, because it's a bitch having to change where all the assets come from when streaming. Seriously, it's such a hassle. Ah dear. No, I think you can see that my my stream is fairly minimal. My stream setup. I've got chat up here. I've got maybe some alerts popping up over here. Sometimes clipping out the side of the screen. And then there's me. I'm here, and of course we've got the hedgehog down here also. Yeah, I still haven't found 6 of those files. Oh yeah, that's pain. That's pain. That is. But yeah, I'm mostly lazy. I'm lazy when it comes to my streaming, to be entirely honest. And to be fair, it's probably better that way. Dear, like I could definitely get a lot more out of streaming if I spent more time on it. And honestly, I should do at least an audit to make sure that I'm actually keeping up with myself. That would be a very good thing to do. But just have everything be one button press convenient, or like one drop down menu and one button press convenient. Like that works for me for the most part. Your model itself is already 4 sources inside a group. Wow. I'm just one. One for me, one very expressive. One very expressive layer. Yes. Not easy having 8 legs. I mean, that's probably true. That definitely doesn't help. Still, very cool combination. Very interesting setup. I mean, I've just got a 3D. I've just got a 3D model. For now. More to be discussed in the future. Don't tell the people that drop by and say, yeah, how you doing? How's your day going? What are you streaming? Are you having fun? Oh, by the way, do you need some assets? Do you need some assets? Do you want a new model? Do you want a new banner? And I'm just like, no, thank you. No, I'm good. You're just partially 3D, that's where the problems start. Ah, very interesting. Let's see. But right, I think we've got a pretty good one sheet down here. I didn't need to make any links after all, which is fun. We can keep this nice and simple then. Do you need any assets? That's what my medication does, sweetie. Yeah, no, it'd be true. It'd be true. Ah, assets. Never mind. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty happy, actually. I'm pretty happy here. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Okay, where do we go from here then? Is it worth... Wait, can I remove this? I can remove this, lovely. Delete. Delete, please. Thank you very much. So... we're gonna need a new document for this. One high-level design document. Let's see. So, player character, first of all. So, the first thing that I'm thinking, you get an initial choice of one of 3 initial Coven members, or a fully custom character with a less defined story. Here we go. You start design document the way you start the day. First you take a big sheet. This is true. This is how you do it. This is what you do. So yeah, 3 Coven members, or you can make a custom generic character who doesn't have the same story but can interact with all the other characters. Can still interact with all characters and story event is what I'm thinking. What do I want to refer to these characters as, or what do I want to use as the foundation for them? Let's see. Can we just lean on the Dark Triad here? I think that could be kind of fun. So we've got a narcissist, the Machiavellian, and the psychopath. Just to make the characters very interesting and flawed. Dark Triad, the Morrigan. The Morrigan. Characters not defined by their relation to one of the Dark Triad personality types. But it does heavily influence and inform their stories and characters. Ion form. Fantastic. Triple Goddess of War and Fate in Irish mythology. Oh, that one's Morrigan. Very nice. Unfortunately, I've been mostly exposed to pop culture Morgans. That's very cool. Yeah, despite being, you know, from an ostensibly Celtic country, don't know that much about Celtic mythology. Aside from like fairy tales and stuff. Fairy tales I'm here for, but it's all, you know, very very post-Christian, most of it. Not all of it, most of it. So yeah, I think, yeah, this is kind of an interesting one because, like, I do want the characters should be broadly sympathetic, or at least have the capacity for it. But but should be flawed in their own ways also, which is fair. I have my own game pet process, which I'm basing on the names on Irish and Welsh. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. I'm always interested in hearing about game projects. If you do happen to want to share, feel free. Or if you want to share more, rather. And then, and the custom character can have a range of initial traits which may influence their interactions in the future. Narrative description of gameplay. This is going to be a tricky one. Because it's very, very content focused. So yeah, it's a question of how to get it to represent the kind of gameplay itself, which will be interesting. Maho Shoujo thingy where the magical girls are called Morgan. It's using a 3-element system of sky, water, and earth. I like it. But your utility, damage, user ranged, and tank. Okay, that's quite cool. Nice little 3-element system. I like it. I like it. They all died, and the way that they died informs the new powers. Oh, very tragic. I like it. I like it. Right. I may come back to the narrative description of gameplay. Actually, maybe I should separate these all into separate documents. Yeah, let's separate these all into separate documents. So I'm gonna cut this. Make player character its own link. I'm gonna paste all the details in there. And then we're going to go back to the high-level design document. Narrative description of gameplay. We cut. We paste. Yeah, this is quite nice. I like... Oh, this is actually very nice. Checking out. Have a nice evening. No worries, Nucleos. Thank you so much for coming. You take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. You take care, and we'll catch you again some point soon. Be good to yourself. Righty. Story. Ooh, story's gonna be an interesting part. Oh dear, what just happened? We made a very weird something or other, didn't we? I think I included one too many of those. And... hold on. There we go, that's fixed it. Lovely. So go to story. We've got effectively... So it's kind of interesting. So we've got three main character stories. We've got 3 main character stories, 3 alternative character stories. I want to have 3 secondary. Character stories. And why don't we just keep the pattern of 3s, to be honest? The main character, whose magical girl name is Bridget, died falling off a roof trying to escape from vandals. Main enemy type. She didn't die from the fall, but from the damage she sustained during it. With its death, she got the powers for flight, healing, and is immune to bleed. Her ability is double sky. Ooh, very fun. Liking where you're going with this. So I want 3... wait. 1 main... Yeah, because hold on. Yeah, we're focusing on main stories here. Let's go for one main narrative story. 3 faction stories. Three faction stories. Well, main faction stories. Are we going by powers of 9? Powers of 3, rather. Because we could go 9 secondary faction stories. And that's a lot of writing now. We got 9, 10, 19, 22 stories listed right here. That's not nothing. We can work on that. We can deal with that. 22 stories. Like, what's is that really so difficult? I don't think that's difficult. We can deal with this. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of the stories are going to be quite well paced out. Genuinely, and I want to go back to the one sheet again here. We can also get rid of all this stuff now. Because I do want to emphasize the connection to Daggerfall, which I still maintain Starfield is the Daggerfall. Starfield is Daggerfall more than it is anything else that Bethesda has produced. Starfield is the modern Daggerfall. I stand by this. Well, actually, I would say Daggerfall actually goes a lot deeper. Daggerfall's deeper than Starfield. Starfield is definitely broader, and not just in terms of the map size. Yeah, Daggerfall is definitely deeper than Starfield. But they're very, very close. Isel, I assume it's pronounced Isel, is the magical girl with the power to create more magical girl. That's kind of powerful, don't you think? She can stop time and keep people and things suspended in time. No time loops, sorry, Homura. She mortally wounded the creator of magical girls, but keeps her suspended in a time bubble to create more and prevent her from dying. Well, that's a thing. That's a very intense setting for a character right there. Very interesting. Right, yeah, we've got lots of stories. Lots of stories. One... Hold on. One... for each of the main POV characters. From their perspective. She's Double Sky 2. She has the power of time because she died of old age. She was a 20-year-old cat named Pluton. Or Pluton. Or Pluton. Interesting. Magical Girl was a cat. Very interesting. The alternative character stories. These are the main... My music has decided to stop playing again. Thank you very much, YouTube. Stop being annoying. These are the main POV characters' stories from another perspective. Not one-to-one recreations, but used to highlight differences between main characters and interactions with each other. Our magical girl from is human, behaves like a human, was a bit of a learning curve for her. That's an interesting one. Secondary character stories. Let's see. Non-POV characters whose stories are closely explored through the course of the game can be tied to each of the major factions in various ways. Allows our protagonists to gain deeper understanding of the universe. Lovely. One main narrative story. The main quest. The main narrative and message underlying the game is what we're aiming for. 3 main faction stories. And 9 secondary faction stories. Maybe very ambitious. Significantly, but still significant faction related quest lines that for the gameplay I wanted to be like a 3D fighting game. I think the Armored Core formula would work really well. Girls always set out in groups of 3 and you can switch between them. Oh, that's very interesting. So do you see it as like being more kind of like a mission based game or like levels? Kind of like like Streets of Rage kind of comes to mind. Or hold on, there was a Magicka fan game by I think it was Tasagara Frontier, Grief Syndrome, which is very cool. You can find it online. It's like the side scrolling, well, okay, 3D fighting game is very different, but it's like a kind of side scrolly platformer where you get to play as the girls from Magicka. It's very fun. That's what comes to mind for me. But not 3D fighting game. I my brain's going in a very different direction than year 1. Significantly smaller, but significant. Yeah, go for smaller but still significant sub-faction related quest lines. That explore the setting in more granular detail, and then there's gonna be miscellaneous and radiant quests, because you can't have an open world without a radiant quest. Fine and granular quests for exploring individual elements of the game setting, as well as reinforcing overarching themes. Because yeah, the small missions they end up doing end up having a very large impact on the overall setting, which is very fun. I'd want to be mission based with some Persona style regular life. Ah, kind of Persona style. That's actually quite cool. This has given me something to start on here in terms of story, which is nice. Well, it's a foundation anyway. Or rather, this is more of a jumping off point for further story later. I think we go back to the high level and we make one for interface. Lovely. So interface, how to interact with play experience. Primary gameplay involves, rather basic gameplay involves the riveting gameplay of VNs working through dialogue. However, also involves custom UI for navigating locations in overworld, locations in particular location, navigating locations in locations, environments in particular locations, as well as large-scale world traversal. Fantastic. For example, in a location on a planet, can choose to move to neighboring location, fast travel to more distant location, or interact with specific objects or NPCs in the current location. There we go. Depending on where the mission is, the girl whose territory it is needs to be part of the team. Ah, that's a bouncy thing. Part of the tutelary system. The rest can be fit as long as with one of each affinity. Ooh, very interesting. So, I'm getting the impression that you can kind of have multiple magical girls at any one time. So, like, with one character being able to create more, it sounds like you're kind of, like you're like raising Pokemon, very kind of raising Pokemon, or like RPG kind of like somewhat Final Fantasy E, Persona E. I don't know, Persona's not my go-to. But yeah, it says that you can kind of just like raise your custom team, either like with a random upper limit on the number of members you got, or there's like a set limit on the number of members you got. It's kind of interesting either way. But like Final Fantasy, yeah, I getcha. That's fun. E.g., on interplanetary map, can choose to can choose to travel to nearby planet / point of interest. Land at current point of interest, or travel on interplanetary routes to, or interstellar routes rather. To other star systems. Lovely. So there goes our interface. Obstacles. Obstacles. What kind of obstacles can we run into? Also, will this open? There we go. What will we run into? Enemies. Dangerous rival factions, hostile colonists. Witch hunters, because of course there's going to be witch hunters. Hostile alien life. Environment. One thing that I do love about my exploration games is environments that are hostile to you. So extreme heat, cold, radiation, toxicity, gravity, pressure. What else? Am I missing anything obvious? Heat, cold, high radiation, high toxicity, high gravity, high pressure. I think that's the big ones, isn't it? Missing something, but we can come back to it. I'll probably think of something. Scripted events. So these are going to be a thing. Random encounters with with factions, enemies, environmental conditions, not conditions, conditions. And the main enemies are the Vandals and the Banshee. Vandals are kind of powerful zombie that tries to simulate the land they're on. Interesting, makes sense. The Banshee is a spirit of grief that destroys their surroundings in an impotent rage when someone lost everything. Ah, so kind of witchery-wise. That's interesting. And Vandals are kind of a combination between people doing damage to the environment that they're in, as well as literally like tagging and making part of their turf kind of vibe going on. That's interesting. I like the implications associated. Other scripted events. There was another one, wasn't there? It's pressure, temperature, radiation toxicity. Is pressure even one of them? Gravity is not. Pressure is. Gravity, radiation, toxicity, heat, cold. Oxygen, I suppose. Low oxygen. Oh, corrosiveness. Yes, I'm just stealing from Starfield at this point, but still. Ooh, magical stuff. Magical stuff. I've been forgetting about the magical stuff. I've been so distracted by all the sci-fi shit going on. And you caught me with the deeper meaning I see. Most of the game having a Celtic vibe and the Vandals being a historic Germanic tribe. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Very interesting. Yeah, they called dibs on their territory. And Banshee also, like, you know, not just being like the stereotypical Dungeons and Dragons Banshee, or like, you know, Victorian horror story Banshee, but also like the relationship with the she, like Celtic folkloric spirits and what have you. So it works on multiple levels. I love wordplay. I really like wordplay. I approve wholeheartedly. Rogue Witches. Potentially. Magical effects. And I'm getting Locked Tomb vibes right now, actually. Maybe go back to our one sheet. Also elements of space opera, magical shenanigans, a la the Locked Tomb. Because why not? The Locked Tomb is awesome. I can't wait for book 4. Dear, so those are some obstacles anyway. Maybe not entirely, but partially at least Locked Tomb. Locked Tomb is awesome. Let's see, and puzzles. Puzzles are also a very important part of gameplay. So there's going to be social interaction puzzles. Indeed, the Banshee being related to grief and not being necessarily evil. Yeah. Social interaction puzzles or encounters involving one or more disparate parties. I'm actually going to make this a little thingamajiggy as well. Why don't we these little thingamajigs? Lists. Bullet point lists. Let's get bullet pointy. Witch hunters, Australian life, rogue witches. Magically altered or created entities, because why not? In Vim, you could have done that with 4 keystrokes, you know. I mean, I don't actually, no, I don't use Vim. But yeah, that could have been handy. Yeah. Honestly, I'd be surprised if it wasn't a plugin for this. It would have done it for me as well. Gonna leave scripted events as it is. Social interactions. Complex combat encounters. Invulnerabilities. Weaknesses. I cannot type today for some reason. Combo steps required to defeat. Just joking, I don't use Vim either. Dear me. So that's social complex combat encounters. Exploration puzzles. Involving exploring the environment for clues. So it's going to be very point and click. Involving exploring an environment. Searching for clues. Making logical connections. Let's see. Achievement puzzles. Certain types of gameplay. Revolving around certain types of gameplay objectives. For example, hypothetically, dissolving a faction without killing any of their members. So these are like really weird puzzles kind of thing, I'm thinking. Or what else? Discovering all of a class of secret objectives. What else? What else? I'm just gonna say etc. for now. That's good if you like puzzles. Let's go back. Interactions. And my tunes have stopped again. Lovely. Pause. Pause. Pause, I say. What am I in the mid for? You know what? I know what I'm after. Bandabidozi. Right. NPCs. Worlds. Weapons / combat. We'll explore at some point. Equipment. Have a think. These are all kind of big categories in their own right. NPC front, how do you want to be able to interact with or use NPCs? And select on planetary / interstellar scenes. What else do we fancy? Interaction dependent on, or rather, what's the word? It's opinion system. It's not charisma, it's not personality, it's not renown. I'm forgetting the word, and I've got books in front of me and I can't even look at them. Yeah, interaction, that's fine. We'll remember the word later and we'll come back to it. I love it when that happens. And current reputation. Like a kind of a living reputation system that's dependent on certain conditions. That's gonna be fun. Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun coming up with this. Actually. Oh god, I'm getting ideas. I need to expand this. Also, Chandu16, good to see ya. Hopefully you're doing well. Yes, we are oblivioning it up. But oblivioning it up. That's another Freudian slip from today. Yeah, no, I've been playing a lot of Oblivion, but today we're working in Obsidian. The brain rot is strong. It's true. So yeah, no, we have been having a lot of fun. I am currently working on design documentation for a silly open world visual novel game that I want to make, that I've literally just been thinking of for the last 3 hours? 3 hours. It's been 3 hours old, and I'm kind of excited about it already. Open world. Listen, bad TVPG. You don't know what I'm able to do with a visual novel engine. Just because it's a visual novel doesn't mean one can't create a very small gameplay loop It allows you to explore the world how you see fit. We're gonna have some fun with that. But yes, hopefully you're doing well there, Chandu. Bit of an Oblivion, not Oblivion. Say that again. A bit of an Obsidian aficionado yourself, are ya? We've got a couple here actually. Goliath, who's up there in the chat a little bit earlier. Also another fan of Obsidian. I said it right, are you happy now? Yeah. Interest dependent on faction status, current reputation. And infamy, I suppose. What can they do? Can serve, or function rather, as followers, shops, services, quest givers, objectives. There's no functional practical difference between the two. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Quest givers, objectives. Flavor. Flavor, setting, theming, as well as antagonists and major narrative characters. Lovely. Factions! Factions is going to be a whole separate thing. Oh god, this is going to be interesting. Actually, oh my goodness, I am having thoughts. This is going to be interesting. I had to come up with a simulation for how this is going to work. Yeah, it's starting to think in just how ambitious this idea is. But I'm going to do my best to keep it involved and built on very small little pieces all coming together. That is the dream. Emergent gameplay. That's what I want to achieve. So factions. Not directly interacted with. They primarily... They primarily influence each other in the background and are influenced by player actions, presence, and activity. Getting on the faction's good side can net certain benefits. And even, gasp, tolerance becoming recognized enemies of a faction. well as reduced access to resources, NPCs, and quests. Yes, let's write a really interesting and involved world, and then let's give people no access to any of it. Sounds like a good idea right here. Worlds. Exploring their environments and settlement. And NPCs. Gonna prepare for sleep? No worries, Goliath. Thank you so much for coming along. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you've had a good time here. I've enjoyed hearing about, well, little bits of advice as far as file types and what have you. Little things to keep in mind. Good talking shop on that front, as well as hearing about what you're working on the back burner as well. Yeah, you take care, Goliath. You rest well. I'll probably be heading off not too soon. Myself, maybe head off somewhere between like 15 minutes and 45. We'll see how things go. But yeah, take well, Goliath. Take care. Be good to yourself. Catch you soon. Indirectly influenced by engaging with factions active on them and impacting their supply and trade line, because that will be important. My god, what am I doing to myself by coming up with this silly system? Weapons and combat. I'm still on a little bit of a combat light kick, by which I mean there should be one combat stat primarily. It can be modified in several different ways, which does allow some degree of specialization. But yeah, minimal combat variety, because I really don't think what are they called? Visual novels are, well, it's not that they're bad at doing combat, it's just that combat is not what they are best suited for. So simplify things as much as possible, but still have some interest and depth. So combat, mostly abstracted, but abstracted down to a single stat, not the primary focus of the game. Okay, small number of stats. Because I expect there would be space combat and ground combat, at least. We'll check those out. I mean, you've got a space game. If you've got a big space opera game where you can interact with factions, you gotta have some space combat. What are you doing if you don't have some kind of space combat? Like, seriously. What would I be playing at? Certainly not whatever game I'm coming up with. Let's see. Not the primary focus of the game. But does require some depth. Both personal and both personal and spaceship combat, because of course there should be, as we just said. Different weapons and armors confer different types of bonuses under different conditions. That's fine. I think I'm actually planning, like, you know, the what was it? The open world game that I was planning on doing, like, as a choose your own adventure. Part of me is thinking that I'll just end up adapting that. Maybe not whole cloth, but I'll just end up adapting like a system relatively similar to that for this. I think it would sit quite well, actually. The two are moderately compatible with each other, at least in the way that I'm thinking about them. That's going to be interesting. That'll need some thinking, I think. Although that system was going to be a lot more magic light, and magic was going to be very abstract, whereas, I mean, this system is called Space Witches Simulation, or at least that's the working title. Space Witches Simulation kind of like inherently is going to involve a little bit more magic than like a generic choose your own adventure setting. So yeah, I might need to add a couple more magic skills and a bit more diversity in what you can do as far as magic's concerned. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how the conversion goes. Also, to fit into somewhat more of a sci-fi setting than otherwise. That'll be fun as well. Equipment. Well, I mean, we've got a weapons combat section here. This is fine. We'll keep this to this for weapon and armor. Equipment. Environment suits for surviving dangerous environmental conditions. This is an aspect of Starfield that I adored, and I've been saying for a little bit, just before Oblivion came out. Yeah, be grateful that Oblivion came out when it did TV, otherwise I'd be playing more Starfield. How would you feel about that? I'm kidding. Only in part. I was actually tempted to play some more Starfield because Starfield is bloody fun. It scratches something for me, and people don't see it. So I'm basically I'm making, okay, I'm not making Starfield but good. I'm playing Starfield, but something that I think will compel to me even more than base game Starfield appeals to me. Kind of like pop out a couple of those rough edges and just put a different spin on it that I think it's really... Not that I'd say it's missing per se, but like they didn't focus on it in the game. And I want to see focus in a slightly different direction. Ish. This will not just be a copy pasta. Mostly because it's a very different game. Very different game, much more character focused. Which will be interesting. I'm gonna do a little bit more planning on this, definitely off stream. And well, we'll see how this ends up living, because this is a very weird game. I literally just threw together a little spreadsheet, like not even a spreadsheet. Sorry, what am I even talking about? The mind map that I made that's sitting right beside me, just over here. I literally threw it together like 15 minutes before the stream started, and I was like, right, no, I could have played Balatro right now. But no, I have this thought in my head and I need to strike while the iron is hot. And this is just really fun. I'm having fun. The environmental suits for different environmental conditions. Let's make this a what's it called? Bullet point list. So we've got environments for surviving dangerous environmental conditions. That's fine. That's kind of up there with armor as well, but not entirely. Magical tools, apparatus, and ingredients and reagents. Actually, call them reagents and catalysts. I like the sound of that. Taking poison damage on worlds where you are in your exposure suit still cheeses me. Yeah, like, I mean, okay. I really, really, really love the environmental suit system for Starfield. But, like, you could have effectively the highest level of environment suit, and you would still end up taking some kind of damage once your suit's protection ran out. And it was so unclear how the environment suit system worked. Like, was it a threshold thing? Like, if the temperature was a certain amount, did you need a certain amount of temperature resistance to survive? Or if it was, yeah, as you say, if it was toxic, like, could you have like a certain amount to get you through? How am I getting poisoned in a hermetically sealed suit? Like, I don't even mind if it gives out, if the filters give out, or if it's like bound to make its way through. But like, there was no clarity. It wasn't like, oh, here's your suit's hit point. That'll show you how long it's gonna last, so you can actually tangibly see what you're looking at. Instead, you just get like a beeping, and the beeping doesn't really correspond to anything. It was very annoying. I would want an overhaul. I would want an overhaul of it, just to make it a bit more intuitive. Exactly what you're dealing with, but still, yeah. But yes, we need magical tools, apparatus, reagents, and catalysts. What other equipment is necessary? Consumables, potions, medicine, first aid, repair stuff. That'll kind of do is a kind of a jump off spot. Ammunition, I suppose. Yeah, space witches. That's just an interesting concept together, isn't it? Like a coven of witches just like sitting on a spaceship together. That's kind of the vibe that this ends up having. A little bit. Oh yeah, there was also the option of having NPC followers. Normal people and or coven members. Which is gonna be a thing. Okay, how are we feeling now? A little bit longer, I think. That's those. Next document we would want. Oh shit, hold on. Delete that one, that's fine. We want level walkthrough. Although that's not one that I'm gonna fill out just yet. I'm not gonna have like an opening cinematic or anything. Let's not worry about that. Character actions. What kind of things can our character do? They can... movement. They can move around the world. On planets, first of all. Can move to neighboring locations. Can fast travel to specific points of interest. Including ship. Or is it certain specific points of interest? From ship can take off into space. Either within a building slash structure slash dungeon, because you never know, we might have some of those. Within a settlement or across a wider environment. In space, can move to neighboring locations, other points of interest within system. Interstellar travel. Nearby question mark star systems, because we don't know if they're necessarily going to be nearby, dependent on FTL method. Can land or dock on points of interest. With potential to shift to planetary movement. That's movement. Next, using objects. kind of objects can we interact with? So, requires recognizing them in the game world, primarily. Does somebody interact with the player directly? We love when that happens. That can be very fun. Sorry, I went quiet for a second there because I had a little brainwave. Very interesting brainwave. It's one that I had in mind as I was originally coming up with this idea. But we'll definitely have to see where this ends up leading. Hold on, I'm just going to make some notes. Okay. Triple underlined as well. Right, we'll come back to that thought again later. Very interesting. Items can be added to inventory. Can enable access to various game mechanics such as shops, crafting, because why not? At this point I'm just throwing everything up and we're seeing what things end up looking like. I mean, it looks like that's the end, but we're just having some fun. We want to see what it ends up looking like. Just riding the wave of what do I expect to see. And then we'll pare it down a bit to what feels right for the idea that I'm having as it comes to mind. Right now I'm just like throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. What appeals to me? What do I want to create? That's really the question that I'm answering right now. It really is, honestly. Like, it's kind of really the priority for me. It's just, does it feel fun? Does it feel interesting? Is it the kind of story that I want to tell? Is it the kind of, what's calling to me, basically? Which I don't think I listen to enough. I think I'm very bad at it, like not doing the thing that I feel like I actually want to do for some reason. Which is a bit frustrating, but it does give me opportunity to try and overcome it, which is also good. So we do want some kind of shoppy crafty very Daggerfall. I just keep coming back to Daggerfall. Daggerfall is like a perfect game to me. In a lot of ways. Character interaction? Have we not really kind of covered that? Kind of got that. Character interactions, we kind of covered. Combat. Or maybe we need to abstract things a little bit. Primarily, being sale interactions, flags, triggers, flags, triggers, branching options. Also influenced by external external factors as well. That's fine. Can't just keep that light. I know. Combat description. Okay, so personal combat. We kind of want conga line of death. Do we want conga line of death? Results of combat fairly quickly determined. And I want there to be an incentive to run from threats that cannot be easily overcome. And then there's pretty much as above. Discretion is the greater part of valor. You want to be the underdog. You don't want to feel ridiculously powerful, although there can be a degree of power as well. There are options in both personal and space combat, but they have big penalties. This is not the as precisely as I can list elements and actions of combat, but it does get the ball rolling, to be honest, and that's kind of the priority at this point. I will want to make, quite similar to what we did with, what was it? Where's it gone? Let's pop over to the Choose Your Own Adventure prototype, which has opened in a different window, because of course it has. Why wouldn't it? What we'll do, we'll nip over to that if we can. Can we? There we go. Yes, so the Choose Your Own Adventure prototype, which is still very fun and is very useful. So the deal with this was, oh my god, it's got a bit messy, hasn't it? Right. I think it was the link force needs to be middle. Separate that out. There we go. Separation. Right. So yeah, the whole plan with this whole setup was that, wait, what was I had something I was specifically talking about and I forget what it was. It all sorted itself out quite nicely. This one's a bit more complicated. That's fine. That's all fine too. Lovely. But yeah, the whole plan with all this was that I forget where I was going with. Where was I going with this? Combat? Was it combat? Was it interactions? I forget. I was going somewhere with this and I forgot. I completely forgot. Oh yes, I was about a prototype. Yes. So this was actually really useful as a prototype, and I'm going to be able to continue using it as a prototype. It's not perfect, and it's definitely not going to be the final version of what I'm kind of working on, of course, because it's nothing like it. But it will serve as a very useful prototype to kind of get a sense of what I am going to be wanting to create. This is very much hard-coded and on a very small scale, but I'm going to want to do something similar for this one, just to kind of get a feel for everything that I need to do, or at least one instance of everything I need to do, which can then be scaled up into the more generic scenarios that you'll end up in the full game and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it'll be very useful. It'll be very useful, I think. So, we've got quite a lot done. Is there anything else we can do very quickly? Not really. There's like... yeah, there's a couple of other things that I could maybe look at, but I don't really want to get too deeply into things right now. But I think we've got a very, very good foundation of things today, actually, surprisingly, considering I came up with this 15 minutes before we started the stream. What have we achieved today? So I have set out... yeah, we're going to be calling the stream shortly, just so that you're aware. Today I have set out the foundation of the design documents for Space Witch Simulation, or Space Witches Simulation, rather. Which I'm very happy with, actually. This has turned into an interesting little project. It's taken exactly 3 hours to come as far as I have. Okay, like a little bit more than 3 hours, but I've gotten distracted in that time. And we've got several documents which give us some tools that we need to get started with understanding what this project's going to involve, what it's kind of going to be, what's going to be involved in putting it together, what's interesting about it. We've got a springboard for characters. We've got a little springboard of like just a premise. and we've got set parameters for what's going to be necessary within the game world itself. So I'm actually really happy. I'm actually very happy. If you don't mind, I'll be calling the stream here. I don't know if I'll be thinking about this immediately as I'm going to bed, but I think I will be thinking of it over the next couple of days or so. I don't know if I'd expect me to be doing more of this on Thursday, or whether I'm more likely to play a bit more Oblivion. Don't be surprised either way. Or who knows, maybe I'll fancy a little bit of a break. We'll play some Balatro or something. But this has been lovely. This has been really fun. We've had a good number of people come by today. We've had a lot of people with some interesting anecdotes and stories to tell. And honestly, it's been far too long since I've done a writing stream of any kind. So I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. And of course, look at this. Got another story to add to the pile. May God help me. Anyway, with that all having been said, thank you so much for coming along, everyone. If you've been here from the start, you came along partway through, I really do appreciate it. Next stream will be, as I say, on Thursday. Don't know exactly what we'll be doing. Probably more Oblivion. I'll probably be in the mood for it, unless I make a lot of progress on this. So we'll see. But until then, take care of yourselves. Be very good to yourselves, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye-bye-bye. Bye-bye. That was fun. That was genuinely really fun. So much fun today. And you know, this is probably the best way to get back into different kinds of creativity as well. Just being like, okay, like if I really want to be creative, I could go and work on one of the many projects that I've started over the years. I could totally do that. Or I could just go ahead with what comes to mind right now. I think that's a good idea too. And it seems to have worked this far. But yes, who shall we drop a raid on today? You fancy dropping a raid on somebody? Let's raid. Let's raid Lennox. He's playing some old school RuneScape. If you like you some RuneScape, this will be good for you. And even if not, fun, classic RPG. Honestly, I don't know why he's dressed like a Christmas tree. But if I wasn't planning on going to bed, I would probably check it out for a little bit. Anyway, take it easy, folks. Catch y'all soon. Be good to yourselves. Bye for now.